Watch this.
Well, good evening. It's Wednesday, November 17th, and I hope you guys are doing well this great afternoon. It's a week before Thanksgiving, and we're here just to talk tech and have a great time and learn together. Thank you for all the ones that have chosen to come hang out with us over here in the lab. Make sure you tell a friend to come over to the YouTube channel, the Lab Tech Show. My name is Corey Sanders. I go by the name of Tallboy, but y'all know I do not like to give out my government name, but every now and then we have a new guest and, just got to let them know who I am and, what I'm all about. So this evening, we've got 4 stories that we like to talk to you about and we're going to discuss in real time what these stories are. And if you guys have questions, please feel free to interact. If you're watching on Facebook or LinkedIn, please come on over here to the Lab Tech Show on YouTube and interact and join us. With that being said, what I would like for you to do is don't forget to get your adult beverage. We got to have our adult beverages for this show. Outside of that, what else is going on? I got a guest today. And this is a good friend of mine. Actually, he was one of the first ones that gave me a true opportunity here in the Atlanta market. And I thank him for all of those opportunities that he gave me here in radio. And this is kind of where this live streaming was kind of birthed from, if that makes any sense. And without further ado, he's a techie, I'm a techie. But I'll let him tell you all those other good things about him. His name is Mr. Hurricane Dave. How you doing, brother?
I'm good, my brother. How are you?
Hey, man, I'm all right, man. Somebody's saying we got a little bit of feedback, but Hurricane Dave, I finally got you on the show. You are a great mentor to me, and I definitely thank you for every opportunity that we've been able to have with one another. But one of the cool things that I've seen is not only were you a great supervisor, you are a big techie as well.
Yes. Love the tech. Love the technology, my brother. Absolutely. That's why I love your show. Your show is always cutting edge and always talking about things that are meaningful to people. And yeah, I think really introducing folks to some of the technology pieces that are out there before they even become known to the general public. So, you're definitely doing your thing, and I'm excited to be a part of your show tonight.
Okay. Well, I definitely appreciate that. Before we get started, let me see who we got over here in the house this evening. We have, let's see, Lisa Marie. She's saying hello from New York. My man, Sammy Superstar, he's saying, hey. Hit the spot is a regular here. She's saying, hey, let's see, what'd you think of the intro? What would you think of the intro?
What did I think of it? I thought it was dope. I noticed, obviously, you changed some stuff up. I love the little chair, the way the chair kind of slid around. I felt like I was going to be sitting in a nice, comfortable leather chair there.
Okay. So I gotta ask, do you have your adult beverage for the evening, or are you going solo dolo? I mean,
I'm going with water. I did have a half of a, I think it was a margarita or something like that my wife and I split. And
you split margaritas?
Yeah, because I really didn't want anything, but I see you on your Minute Maid. I see that's your thing, so that's cool. Unless you got something poured in that Minute Maid.
No, I don't have anything poured in there. It's straight 100% 100%
Concentrated something.
concentrated Minute Maid.
Okay, cool, cool,
So
cool.
check out everybody. I need y'all to grab y'all's adult beverages. Y'all know the routine. You know, I'm gonna while we're having thought provoking conversations, I want you to have your glass of wine, your adult beverage, or whatever your favorite drink is, and we're going to go ahead and get this party started. Before we
Yes.
get into our stash stock party, quick question: Tech. Is there anything that you would like to talk about that is interesting to you in your world?
Oh man, there's lots of stuff that I talk about. Chatbots are my thing right now. I'm definitely working on some chatbot stuff. I saw that Alexa this month turns 7 years old. The Alexa device has been around for 7 years, and it just I could see like maybe 6 or maybe 5 years, but a strong seven. Wow! And I had one when it first came out when they were like I think $40 when they first came out. Now that model you can get for like almost $10 or $11.
Okay, so 7 years old, Alexa. Okay, and
Mm-hmm.
so what is the one thing that you like about Alexa? Because I'm
I
not a
love
big
everything
fan.
about Alexa.
Because I'm not a big fan. I'm not a big fan of Alexa.
Okay.
I don't want those pre-recorded. I don't want it recording and capturing my whatever I say in the house. So what is
Well,
it
I,
about?
I'm of the mindset that if your phone is on, unless you put that thing in a soundproof container, something is always listening to us. Always. Our camera systems. I have a security system in my house, and I think I have about 13 cameras because I'm a tech freak. So I have cameras in most of the rooms, and of course outside. And I think those things are listening. So the Alexa device does sometimes will have a conversation with you, and you're looking like, whoa, I didn't say the magic word. So if
Okay.
your device is called Alexa, you might want to change it. They just added Ziggy to the alert name. That just came out about 2 weeks ago. But I call mine computer. So if I say computer, what time is it? It's going to tell me what the time is. So because sometimes you hear the commercials on TV talking about the Alexa device, and then your Alexa device wakes up. So they give you 4 or 5 different names that you can use as opposed to just saying Alexa.
Okay. So you're telling
But
me.
everybody's listening, Cowboy. You
Uh,
know that.
well, we
Everybody's
know
listening.
that. Well, we know that. But I'm just saying, you're telling me that you can change the name as opposed to saying Alexa, wake up. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, yeah. So instead of saying Alexa, you can say computer,
Okay.
which mine it just activated like it's listening now to find out what I want. I don't want
Uh,
anything. You can go back to sleep, computer. Yeah, you can call it Echo. I
Okay.
believe you can call it Amazon, and they just added Ziggy about a month ago.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. Somebody says me either. I'm with you, tall boy. They don't want that in the house. Um,
Hmm.
and then let's see. Yes, you can change Alexa default names. So okay, that's something different. So and yeah, and then somebody also said, yeah, I never thought about that with cell phones. So yeah, these are.
Yeah.
This is good information. So 7 years old, 3 more years,
Hmm.
there'll be 10 years, and 10 years seems to be like that milestone, if that makes any sense. So,
Oh yeah. Well, they've
congratulations.
updated it quite a bit. Every couple of years they update it. Now it has screens. You can tell it to play a movie premiere or something like that. So they keep updating it.
Okay, I got you. Well, we have this segment that we call the Stash Stock Party. And I'm
Mm.
not sure if you're familiar with Stash Stock, James, but for everyone that is a part of it, I don't know what I did with my phone, so hopefully I'll find it before the hour ends. Um, what
And
did I do
I
with
know
my?
you got a long time a relationship with James, but my name is Dave.
Oh, and it's right there on my screen.
Hey, but that's to be expected. That's to be expected. He might be looking at this smiling and laughing right now. So he's like, I knew
Right,
it. I
right.
knew he was talking
I
about
don't
me.
know what I did with my phone, my man. I just had it right here.
He
So,
just had it.
yeah, I got every tech product over here but my phone. Can you believe that? The
Well, I am
case,
about to
the
call your
Wi-Fi
phone
hotspot.
right now. I'll call it and see if it rings.
Look at here. Oh, you know what?
There it is, right there
It's
on the desk, right?
it's sitting right here. I'm looking at wow. All right. This is crazy.
That happens. That happens.
All right, so it's Pinterest. So for the ones who are into stash stock, basically for the ones who are into it, you already know what it is. You get a fraction of a stock this evening. You have 1 hour to go out and get it. For the ones who are not familiar with stash stock, um, basically what it is if you don't know anything about investing, Stash has a way for you to sign up with them, and every Wednesday and one other day, random day out of the week, they select and they find a stock that they've partnered with, and or a company that they've partnered with, and they give you an incremental stock. So it's absolutely free. You don't have to pay anything to get this stash stock party, and or to join the stash stock party. So feel free to come on in and hang out, and you got 1 hour to claim it, and it's absolutely free. So it helps you start to invest, and you can start to say, hey, let me look at my portfolio, as you start to look at how do you want to find creative ways to make money.
Well, getting a piece of Pinterest is that's a good deal.
Yeah, yeah.
Pinterest is huge.
Look, somebody says Pinterest, yes, and somebody said I don't need it. Said I don't need my phone, and then of course hit the spot 1006 has to mess with me and says, and you got four eyes. So like this is how the jokes are gonna come
Okay,
in, man. The
that's
jokes are
love.
definitely
That's
gonna,
love.
yeah. It's nothing but love. So she's gonna give it to me real hard, and it's okay. I still love her, so it is what it is. All right, so don't
Awesome.
forget, if you guys are watching on Facebook or LinkedIn, you have to come over to YouTube, the Lab Tech Show. Search that, and you can make your comments. They'll pop up on the screen, and if it's appropriate, we'll engage with you, and we'll do it in real time. All right. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into our first article. Now, I know you're going to probably love this article right here, Dave, because
Yeah,
why? You're an Apple. Oh, you're an Apple guy, and
absolutely.
I'm Team Droid, and Android people, we might not be happy with this situation that's going on or what's about to happen. So Apple is
Ooh,
reportedly relying on states to pay for the digital ID rollout. So for the ones who are not familiar with what digital ID rollouts are, or what digital IDs are, that's where you can put your driver's license, your passport, your COVID vaccination cards, all in one secure spot on your phone, and is considered recognized by the government at the airports, or if you go to a sporting event, or if you need, instead of you carrying your ID with you, you can now have this ID in your phone. And Apple basically has said they will soon let users in participating states digitally store their driver's license or state IDs on their iPhone's wallet, but it has to be partially funded by the states and their taxpayers. Georgia, Oklahoma, Arizona, and Kentucky have already jumped on board with this project. There's some other states that are about to roll this out as well. But basically, the contract, that's the big thing. The contract is basically stating that Apple will maintain a tight control over its deployment of the rollout. And it reports that Apple gets sole discretion over a number of aspects of the program, including its device compatibility, the service launch date, states' marketing campaigns, as well as how states report on the initiative's performance. The contract also says that each state will have to allocate reasonably sufficient personnel and resources. So that means the state has to pay for this, not Apple, to support the launch of the program on a timeline to be determined by Apple. This includes
yeah.
testing out the service on different types of Amazon devices, and it must meet Apple's certification requirements. And if it's not enough, Apple is holding states accountable for the authenticity of the program's identity verification. and basically it absolves Apple from any discrepancies in its verification system. Um, in,
Yes.
in, in layman terms, the state and taxpayers will be paying for this digital ID rollout. Your thoughts, Dave?
Yeah. Well, first of all, it's, Apple was, I don't want to say anything bad about Apple because I do love Apple products. I'm an Apple fanatic, but that's a little bit gangster to a certain degree to make sure that people are paying for it that don't even have an Apple device, because it's going to be something that the taxpayers have to pick up. So I don't necessarily agree with that. I do believe in having your identification in the Apple Wallet program, because that's where I store my credit cards when I have to go and use Apple Pay, or if I'm going to put my phone next to the thing at the register, it's inside of a secure wallet. So it's definitely a safe place to put it. The ID situation, I think it's cool. It's one less thing to have to carry. If I could put my passport in there, I think that would be awesome as well. So I'm all about the technology. Now, the flip side of that is Clear is working in conjunction with them, I do believe, because Clear is offering that ability too
Right.
for your COVID-19 shots. So if you want to go to a concert, instead of having to pull out that COVID-19 paper card, which everybody knows can be copied and duplicated and falsified, you have an actual document that's in there that's registered with Clear, and that's just your way to get into some sporting events. I mean, we talked earlier this afternoon about that big show coming up in Vegas, and you have to have a COVID-19 shot. And so
Right.
they're going to be able to scan it. Now, I'm going to tell you, it does remind me, tall boy, of some other countries overseas that are truly big brother watching your every move. So
Right.
I don't necessarily feel good about if I'm going to a concert that's going to be registered someplace where somebody can see it. That part of it makes me feel a little bit uneasy.
So I like what Apple is doing. I don't think I like the fact that they're trying to force it on taxpayers. And
Hmm.
remember, the states, they have to go by Apple's approval. So I think that they are literally locking down and saying, if you don't do it our way, then if you don't do it our way, then we have a problem. And you need to go back to the
Hmm.
drawing board, and you must stay on our timeline. I don't think that I agree with that. And I think that that's something that there should have been some type of negotiation to say, okay, these are taxpayer dollars. We're providing all the resources, the marketing campaign. So basically, Apple is saying we're giving you our infrastructure, or we're giving you our ecosystem, shall we say, and
Right.
you get the ecosystem, but you have to foot the bill towards this. I don't think I agree with that. In regards to Clear, which is the digital identification app, it does serve as that fast pass to the front of the security lines in the airports and sports stadiums. And I think, and I've used it at a couple of events thus far since I've been out, and I already have my Consumer Electronics Show digital COVID vaccination card already stored into my phone. So I think that that's good. Now, one of the things that it says, so Clear doesn't rent or sell your information as it's stated in the privacy policy, but it does say that Clear can use your non-biometric and non-health information to offer its users products or services that it thinks that may be interest to them. No matter
Hmm.
how Apple chooses to leverage the data, is the digital ID system. I just look at it. I just look at it as you can now run ads towards me, and I think that that's the part
Yes.
that kind of worries me. Now, everyone knows I'm Team Android. I'm LG, Samsung, OnePlus, Google. Everybody knows that, but you have to also
Hmm.
remember and look at the fact that Apple is just trying to get people to convert over. And if they have now gotten a deal with the government or with the respective states, this might be, if this could be easier for you, by all means, some people may be willing to convert over to Apple.
Yeah, but it's voluntary, so it's not like you're forced to do it. I mean, most people, the reality of it for me, tall boy, is most people are either team Android or they're team Apple. And I,
Right.
like I don't see you doing that and saying, I think I'm going to get an iPhone so I could do this. I just don't see that. I don't think the majority of the people, they won't do that. Now, I will tell you that Apple's technology is proprietary, and I don't think that they're going to be sharing stuff generally with government officials or state officials or anything along those lines. Sorry about that. That's that cough button. But I will tell you that there's been cases already that have gone to court where Apple has tried not to necessarily give up information inside these iPhones. So I don't think they're going to be readily sharing that information with folks, even law officials, because again, they're really big on this whole privacy thing. Apple's pretty strong on the privacy thing, and when situations have come up where they could have helped law enforcement had to go to the courts and force Apple to open up a cell phone or give them the code to crack a cell phone, because Apple's really not trying to share people's private information. So I don't really think that's going to be a concern.
Okay, well, I guess that's another way of looking at it. For the ones that are watching right now, what are your thoughts? Please put your comments in the comment section. Let us know. Do you agree with this? Do you like this? Do you like the fact that taxpayers will be footing the bill, no matter if you're Android or iOS? Do you like the fact that Apple has such a tight hold on what the states can do as far as the marketing campaigns, the rollouts? What are your thoughts? A quick note here, this plans to make its way to Connecticut, Iowa, Maryland, and Utah coming real soon. And once again, we always say, they're talking about it today. Within the next 2 years, this is going to happen, and it's going to be, the world is going to end up having this, whether we like it or not. So at the end of the day, we just might as well start getting prepared for it.
It's coming. I think Neo makes a good point. He says Apple already built the ecosystem so they can do these type of things, So and they're notorious about their security. They're very notorious about that. So I think he's pretty much on point with that.
Right.
Totally agree.
Here we go. I like this comment here. Sorry, sir. Give it a year and it will be mandatory thing. Live and learn. So I don't know if it would be mandatory. I think it's one of those optional things. I mean, you can have it you can carry your ID and you can carry your digital vaccination card. Dorothy lives out in California, and I don't know if it's mandatory that you have to have to be vaccinated to go into public buildings or not over there. I'm not sure if that's what it is in California, but I know in New York they have strict laws and they have those strict rules going on to where if you want to go into a public building, especially all government buildings, you have to be vaccinated, and sporting events. So I don't think necessarily. I'm sorry to cut you off. I'm pretty sure that's the deal in California. California was actually ahead of New York in making sure that you had to be vaccinated and prove that you were vaccinated before you can go into some public restaurants. So I'm pretty sure, Cali is leading the way. Wow. Well, hopefully it doesn't make its way down here to Georgia. But it's just one of those things that just be mindful of what's going on, and this is just an alternative way for you to store your ID. So if you leave it at home, you're not going to leave home without your phone. You may leave your purse, you may leave your wallet, but you're not going to leave your house, with the phone. So I think that that's a pretty cool thing that the government is saying it's okay to have this type of document or your important documents stored into your phone. I just don't know if I agree with the fact that it's got to be on taxpayer dollars and the state has to provide all the resources. I think that there should be some type of shared responsibility when it comes to that.
Well, I guess the question is, if I'm Apple, why do I need to put anything out when this is for your citizens' safety and for them to be able to move around comfortably? I'm just providing the service for you.
Interesting.
I mean,
point.
It's two to it for sure. I when I told my wife about it before we got onto your show tonight, she thought that was interesting, and I said, well, the crazy part is if you're not an iPhone user, as a taxpayer, you still got to pay. Then she was like, oh, hell no. Oh, no.
Right,
So,
right,
it's a double-edged sword there. I totally get that. If I'm an Android person, why am I paying taxes for something that's going to be on an Apple device? That doesn't sit well.
right, right. All right, so switching gears here. Quick question: do you have cable?
Oh yeah, I have over cable in my house. Over cable.
Over cable? Okay, so let me
Yeah.
let me ask you: do you like streaming services, or do you like cable TV?
Well, to be totally honest with you, my goal is to cut the cord in 2022. I'm getting a lot of resistance to do that. We pay my cable bill is almost $300, but it's also to have a super fast internet too. So, but we have all the cables, all the cable channels. We got all these channels that we only watch 4 or 5 of, which doesn't make any sense. Plus, I pay for Disney Plus. I pay for Hulu. I pay for Netflix. We were looking at something else, and I said, "Well, hold up, we don't need to do that." So, I don't want to say you tripping, but they've lived a privileged life when it comes to cable and many choices. And of course, we got the HBO and the Showtime and all that stuff. But I watch CNN. I watch NSNBC because I love Shark Tank. From time to time, I watch Bloomberg, and I love everything that Tyler Perry does. I'm a huge Tyler Perry fan, but like 5 channels for me, and she might add 6. Of course, my 7-year-old, she likes the cartoons like Disney and stuff like that. So I think it's overkill on this end, and young people, especially millennials, college students, they cut the cord a long time ago, bro. I need to cut the cord.
Well, the comments are saying cut the cord, Dave. Somebody said they let go of cable during 2014. So, yeah, so let's talk about this real brief. Is cable TV dying? I don't think it's dying, but I do think that streaming is starting to take over, right? But what does it mean to actually kill cable off and switch to a streaming only ecosystem? Um, I don't know. I mean, I think it's one of those things where when you kill the cable, you're literally killing live programming. You're cutting out live sports, and I think that's what keeps people still going with cable, if that makes any sense.
Hmm.
You want to watch your reality shows, you want to be able to watch the award shows, and you also want to watch um, uh, the football, basketball, baseball, NASCAR, whatever those respected sports that you appreciate. Um, if traditional cable dies, what's potentially at stake? And let's dive into that real quick. Um, your television industry, it employs 2.5 million people annually, paying out 188 billion in wages. And if you like that show This Is Us, they pay or they contribute up to 61 million to the California economy. um, the just recently they just almost went to strike with the International Alliance of Theatrical Stage Employees.
Yes.
Basically, the labor organization representing them, representing the below the line workers in film and TV. They basically said because of streaming became a huge part of their work and they weren't getting paid for that. And they wanted to say, how do we get a piece of that cut? Because you have us working a lot of hours, but we're not making any money, and they were willing to go to bat for what they believed in. Now, that doesn't affect us because we're just regular consumers. We've worked all day and we want to just be able to turn on the TV. And because we've been privileged to be able to say, when we get home as a kid, we're going to watch our cartoons. Parents are going to watch the news, and then watch whatever that 8 o'clock special is. That could potentially go away, and what would happen to those workers? There's a poll out that said back in 2016, 63% Americans watch TV via cable subscription. That number has now dropped to 45%, and and streaming has gone up. And like you said, 18 to 29, that demo, um, that demo, they don't even watch TV at all. Everything is all streaming for them. So
Yeah,
go ahead.
I kind of liken it to, obviously my background, as you know, is radio broadcasting. Streaming has hurt radio and TV because for the most part, on demand and everything you want in the world is right here in the palm of your hand. And
Right.
so, and even with, watching television, very few people, well, I don't want to say very few people, but with on demand services and your box, you don't have to watch that show. When I grew up 8 o'clock on a certain night, a certain show came on at 8 o'clock on a certain night in front of the television. And now I can watch that on Sunday morning if I want to, or I can watch it on Friday afternoon if I want, because these television shows are being replaced by streaming and also on-demand services. And I did see where the folks they were hours away from going on strike out in California because just what you said, not only the TV aspects of the demands of their life has been challenged, but all these streaming shows have really took a toll on them, and they don't have enough time to sleep, get some downtime, and then have to get up and do something for streaming. So they definitely was ready to walk out because of the demand is so high with streaming right now.
Right. Now, everyone loves Netflix, but people don't, if you don't know the backstory on Netflix, they started out as a mail order DVD rental service where you pay $1 and you get to keep the DVD until you returned it, and then you can get another one. And then they eventually launched their own streaming site. They reached out to Blockbuster. Blockbuster laughed them out of the room. And now Netflix is one of the biggest platforms for streaming that's out there. You now have competitors such as Amazon Prime Video, Disney Plus, Apple TV Plus, HBO Max, Peacock, Paramount Plus, and some other names, but they don't stack up with Netflix. Netflix has pretty much cornered the market. So you said you have Hulu and you have Netflix. We just spoke last week on how now they have a bundle for $13.99. You get Hulu, ESPN Plus, and you also get Disney Plus, all for that price. So instead of you paying for each service at $21 or $22 or $27 without ads, you now get that whole bundle for $13.99. So you're paying for services, right? But if your channels that you like or your family likes are primarily on Hulu or on Disney, then you'll probably swing over that way, as opposed to you probably with Warner, you're with HBO Max, and you're saying, all right, well, do I really want to pay the $9.99 a month for whatever offerings that they offer? So, I mean, this is just something to think about. Cable versus streaming, how does it stack up? Linear TV, remember, you're getting your sporting events, and basically when it comes to all the ratings, football, your award shows, and your reality TV shows, and local news tends to be, at the top of the marketing. You don't get that on streaming. So when you stream, you're not getting that live aspect. You can't watch a live basketball game. There, you can do it on Amazon Prime Video with a select market, but as long as these sports companies or organizations are paying the TV stations to do it, then it's going to be hard for an Amazon Prime or a Netflix to be able to get that contract. Anything you would like to add?
Yeah, I think that these bundles are going to continue. There are going to be others that are going to team up, to cut the cable. I believe that the cable system is going to be hurting in a couple years. I know a lot of folks are already cutting the cable, and I'm an OG, so I grew up with cable, so it's hard for me to divorce something that's been a part of my life for a long time. But after a while, it becomes a financial situation. Like, does it make sense for me to be spending all this money for 500 channels when I'm only watching 5 of the 500 channels?
Right.
So I do believe that at some point, it's definitely going to have to go away. Hey, Dorothy, we're back. I saw that we froze too. I was like, wait a second, but we are back.
Oh, we're back. Okay.
We froze. Yeah, we froze for about 10 seconds, and I was like, uh-oh.
Okay. So
So we should be good now.
okay. All right.
Hmm.
Let's hope that, yeah, I'm still recording, so if anything happens, we're still recording, and we can always, you can always go back and check out the replay. Also, in the bio, or in the description of YouTube, you can click on the link and you can check this article, or check out all of the articles that we're speaking on, this evening. So you can follow along with us as well, if you like. All right. Um, so let me ask you, how can cable make a comeback? Do you think it can?
Well, I think it depends on the programming. They got to have some really dynamic programming. And the reality of it is sometimes with cable stuff, it's going to still be rated pretty PG. And we live in a, I don't want to say, what's the next rating? I guess we live in an R-rated world. And so these PG shows, man, we want to watch Netflix because of the things that they don't show on regular TV. And
Mm,
other than the live sports aspect of it, again, I think the cable thing is at a big disadvantage because we live also in a microwave society. I'm sure you've heard that many times before. We want stuff when we want it, not when somebody wants to serve it to us. And cable is serving stuff to us at a fixed scheduled time. And a lot of folks aren't sitting in front of the box at that fixed scheduled time. They have it on DVR and they're watching it when they want to. Or again, if they're, at this at the school or something after school, they can just watch something on demand. And I think that that's just the future. I don't
okay.
know if it's going to be able to come back, in all honesty.
Wow. Okay. Um, there's a lot in this article, and I know we don't have a lot of time to really kind of deal with it, but I just want people to just understand and just keep in mind that um, it's going to be hard for these companies, or these cable companies, to stay afloat, because streaming is starting to take over. Look at what we're doing right now. We're live streaming now. And, if we are continuing to put out, solid content, all people see is, okay, I like this programming over here, as opposed to what the network is doing. Now, yes, this is probably more of a educational DIY type stream, right? As opposed to, something that's more scripted. But when you're paying $10 or 14.99 for a service on streaming, as opposed to paying 70, what would you say, $300? I mean, more people are going to say,
So
all right,
basically,
I'm willing to give up, $20. The only problem with the streaming is those bundles start to add up, right? So when you starting to look at 20, 40, 60, all right, now I'm at 150. All right, I don't want to go over the 150 threshold. Now you're
right.
in it. Once you start to get over there, it's like, well, do I really want to go back to cable? And
Well,
then,
the thing to keep in mind too, tall boy, is when you're talking about you're paying for streaming, guess what? If you don't have no fast internet connection, you don't have streaming at home, at least. So that's always going to be, cable's foot in the door to a degree. So like when I talked about cutting the cord, the first thing my wife said, which she made a very, very valid point. Well, if you cut some of these channels, then they're going to charge you more for your internet service. And I was like,
right,
wow.
and
And I
and
did
they're
not
already doing
have
and they're already
internet.
doing that. They're already doing
Exactly.
that. So it's like,
Mhm.
yes, I love my fiber, but when my fiber starts to go up past, the price point that I'm paying, and it starts to get into the 80, 90, $100 range, now it's starting to balance out like the cable. But
Yeah.
I've been able to say I'm locked in, if that makes any sense. So yeah, it's a catch 22, and it's something that we need to pay attention to. So hopefully, we will take advantage of the streaming while we can, and make the best of it. And then also on the flip side, the older generation, they tend to hold on to the cable, because, like you said, the 18 to 29-year-olds, they're not thinking about cable. They only want to watch one or two programs, and that's it. And I can go to a sports bar, or I can go over to a friend's house and have a little watch party, and then I can get my content in, and then that's pretty much it. So just something to think about.
Oh yeah, and in some major markets, you have free TV still, free
Hmm.
over the air TV. There are
Right.
some channels out there that you don't have to have a cable box for. You can go to Walmart and get those ugly black square things, antennas, and stick it in the window, and you get free over the air television as well.
Right. Right. Well, we're at the halfway mark of the show, and we're going to do our call to action. So it's the Lab Tech Show. Check us out at the Lab. You can follow us on social media at the Lab Tech Show. And if you'd like to check out any of the old shows or any of the previous content that we've created, go over to YouTube and type in the Lab Tech Show where you can get all that awesome content. All right. Hopefully you guys enjoy it, and there's some good content on there. I hope you guys check it out. Look at him drinking his water. Is it time for a water break?
It's water break. It's time for that 1 minute Minute Maid break.
You know what? I got to get a sponsor for this, man. I got to get a sponsor
You
for.
should.
I need to find a sponsor for doing the Minute Maid. If I can get that, I'll be all right. Because hey, I faithfully drink this Minute Maid. So
Yeah.
somebody
Now
said
is that orange juice? What is that? That's Minute Maid what?
this one is tropical punch. I love the grape. I love the berry
Okay.
punch, but I even like the strawberry lemonade. But today I grabbed the tropical punch.
Awesome. Awesome.
So do you want to try this? I think I messed up. Here we go.
Oh no! Let me tell you, I saw Magic do it, and I don't have that kind of voice, bro. I mean, I could say follow the Tech Lab show, the Lab Tech show, the Lab Tech show. See,
hold on.
I'm not a
Yeah.
voiceover guy like that.
But you used to work in radio. I mean, you were on air
I mean, I'm trying
personality.
to drop it.
All right,
Look,
here we
drop
go.
the needle on the record.
All right, so here we go. All you got to do is tell them to follow on social media and YouTube at the Lab Tech Show. You ready? 3, 2,
Yes.
and
Hey, make sure to follow the Lab Tech Show. The Lab Tech Show. .live. And make sure to follow them on YouTube at the Lab Tech Show. That's about it for me, bro. I mean, I know Magic, when he did it, he kept saying, the Lab Tech Show. The Lab Tech Show. Welcome to the lab.
oh man, I can't. Man.
He's got that $1 million voice though.
Yeah, he's got that go.
He's got that voice. God bless him.
Look. I don't know if it's hate, but she coming in. She look. The comments are starting to come in. It's good. what did she say? Good, but not you.
Not you. Yeah, that's not me.
But
That's
it was
not
good.
me.
Yeah, but it was good
It was
though.
cool.
Yeah, no,
Hey, I know my lane. That's not my lane, and I'm okay with that.
no, well, okay, I got you. I'm with it. All right.
Mhm.
Where we at? All right. So let's go ahead and jump into this article here, and I'm gonna briefly hit on some things because I know that Black Friday is coming up. I don't know if I really want to do. Well, I've already said it, so I guess we're gonna go ahead and go with. I wanted to end off with this, but I messed up, so it is what it is.
That's okay.
Yeah. So we're gonna go with Black Friday is coming up. Some people might say I need a new laptop. Some people might say, I'm interested in getting a laptop. But before you go out and buy that laptop, I know you're Team Mac. I already know you don't want to, you don't care about this. But a lot of kids have Chromebooks. A lot of people are working and they have their PCs and they're saying that their computer is slow. It doesn't have enough power. I want to be able to do more things with it. So if you're in the market for purchasing a PC, what I want you to think about, I don't care about the name, I don't care about the brand, but what I do care about is what processor should you go for, okay? This is it's not about having the biggest and the best, it's about what's good for you. And a lot of people, you're going to see a lot of deals, and they're going to say, "Oh, well, we have this this laptop or this computer on sale for $299, or we're going to have this computer that's available for $199," and you're going to say, "Oh, that's a great deal." But before you go out there and do that, make sure you find out what kind of processor you're working with, and I think that will save you a lot of time and a lot of what's the word I'm looking for? A lot of headache. So you'll be like, I got this great deal of a PC, but I don't know what I had. So basically, knowing the essentials should clear up some of the issues that you may have. And over here, I'm not going to get too heavy into all of this, but it all depends really whether you're building yourself a new gaming PC or buying a new laptop, a pre-built computer. The processor you should go for is usually one of the biggest points for consideration. If you're looking at using an Intel processor, it can be easy to get confused between the Intel Core i5 and the i7, as they are incredibly similar with small but subtle differences. So which one is best for you? It comes down to budget and, of course, the plan on what you plan on using for your computer. So if you're more into streaming and doing a lot of video editing, I probably would say look at an i7. If you're more into gaming or light work, I would probably say look at an i5. Let me see if I can bring this article down to where you guys can see some more of this. But the biggest issue is what kind of cores do you have? And now most of these computers that you're going to see in the stores, they're going to start out with probably a quad core, which is 4 cores. The high percentage of Intel's i5 and i7 processors are now in their 8th and 9th generations, and they feature 4 cores. But that's considered the sweet spot. But you could even find something with a 6-core CPU, and the latest i5 models tend to feature 6 cores as well. So there's some different things that you just kind of need to pay attention to. What they're not going to tell you, and anybody that works at Best Buy, they're not going to know anything about this, but the main difference is this hyper-threading that I want you guys to kind of pay attention to. The hyper-threading is the technology by Intel that increases the processor's performance on multi-thread tasks. So the more that you're doing work, it's putting a lot of power onto your PC. And what you need to pay more attention to is if your general computer usage is all about multitasking, then hyper-threading is probably a must. So if you're not doing a lot of, if I'm just doing Word documents, if I'm just doing, what else is it? Doing something on an Excel spreadsheet, none of that really bothers. But if you're saying I want to do Zoom calls, I want to do video editing, I want to stream like what we're doing here, this is where the hyper-threading tends to come into play. And this is something that you need to kind of pay a little bit more attention to. So which one is best for you? Let's see. And you can jump in anytime you want, Dave. I don't know if you know too much about.
I think you've covered it a lot. Obviously, I'm an Apple guy, but I won't talk about Apple tonight. But I think it really depends on what you already said. I think you covered it without me even having to expand upon it. It's the use case that's what has to be answered. That's the question. What are you going to use this computer for? If it's for your kid and he uses it for streaming, because a lot of people are homeschooled, you want to make sure that you get something that can handle processing, the processing power, and also that will stay cool. Because the one thing about streaming, as we all know, those that are streamers, is that your computer will certainly get hot. It gets hot from time to time. And so you want to make sure that if you're streaming, that it can withstand 5 or 6 hours of streaming. My 7-year-old has been homeschooled for the last 2 years. And we have a Mac, and even but it's a kind of an entry-level Mac. It's certainly a Mac that's been around for like four years, so it's outdated. The fan cuts on, but if you don't have a good system your computer could burn up. I burn up a few computers from streaming all day. So again, I think you answered it best. What is the end use of the computer? And that will determine which one you should get. Knowing that the minute that you buy the computer, it's basically going to be obsolete. I mean, not obsolete, but it's going to be outdated. Obsolete is not what I meant to say. But the time that you get it home, they've already got the next models waiting to come out. So, mentally, you just got to tell yourself, mentally, I'm buying this and this is going to be used for this particular purpose. And I'm planning on keeping it for this many years.
Right.
Because it's already outdated by the time you take it out of the store. But you answered the questions already. I mean, you covered it flawlessly.
Yeah, I think what it really boils down to, and it's not necessarily about the price, it's just like you said, what are you going to use it for? And so why consider an i5? I know people are going to say it's cheaper and one of the most mainstream processors on the market. But if you're just a generic computer user who browse the web or use odd light applications, the i5 is pretty much for your needs. But if you want to do some heavy end type stuff like gaming, video editing, streaming, then the i7 processor would probably be more for you. And
Let me answer. Dorothy said, why? Why not, Dave? I'm an Apple user. I'd like to know your thoughts. Well, here's my thoughts right here. I don't know if that's on the screen or not. MacBook Pro. Yes. Go for the MacBook Pro. Get the supercharged one if you can. They got two different models there. But definitely,
here's my question. Here's my question. Not trying to be funny. Here's my question. You do heavy work, right? With your MacBook, you do video editing, you fly your drones, you have to, create the content. So the MacBook Pro is good for you. But for somebody like a Dorothy who's just saying, hey, I'm just recently retired, even though we're talking about i5 and i7 right now, if she went with a MacBook Pro, why should she go with a MacBook Pro when she probably does not do a lot of heavy usage on her computer?
Well, again, it depends on, one, I think the MacBook or the Mac ecosystem is much easier to use. Wow, and it looks like I am out of focus. It looks like the whole thing is out of focus. I see that now. Somebody said that. But I think the system is easier to use than Windows. But please don't get me started on how Bill Gates, look at you. I saw your body. I saw it. Don't tell me, Tallboy, he stole that operating system from Steve Jobs many, many years ago.
Hold up. Man, you tripping over here.
I knew you had a couple ready. For me. But in all seriousness, Dorothy, I'm just a Mac fanatic. I love Macs because I have an iPad, I have the iPhone, I have all the different Macs. I do have a Windows computer that's on the desk behind me, but I very rarely touch it. Yeah, I very rarely touch it. But there are some things, programs in particular, that run better on the Windows platform. So I'm gonna give Windows that, because they opened up their programming source years ago, and so lots of developers were able to develop hundreds and hundreds of thousands of products that run on that platform. Where the Macintosh, and I think Neo said it earlier, is very, very protective of their ecosystem, and but they've gotten better. But I'll pick a Mac 10 out of 10 times over a PC. I'm done.
I don't know about that one.
I wasn't planning on going on a
no, we're not going with that. We're going to stay with the PCs, okay? That's all we're doing.
Okay. I wasn't going to answer it. But, Dorothy brought it up. So
Dorothy brought it up. So in all fairness, she allowed me to use my sound effects this evening because she just wanted to hear you do your rant about Mac, and everyone knows. Yeah, she set you up, man.
Dorothy.
Come
on, Dorothy. Don't do me like that, Dorothy. I'm new.
So, but yeah, there you go. Basically, light work. If you don't plan on having heavy usage, go with the i5. But if you want to future proof yourself, go with an i7 because, like he said, they're going to have these deals coming out for the holidays. You're going to see a nice price, and you're going to say, I can afford that. But make sure you look at that processor. If you see an i3, I'm telling you, don't waste your time. I know it's going to say $99, $199, $299. Don't waste your time because within the next 2 years, that i3 is pretty much going to be obsolete. So look at i5, look at i7. If you're really into gaming, if you're really into heavy usage, if you can afford it, look at an i9. So, but that's if that's within your price point. So, like I said, I'm not telling you go get this PC, go get that PC. I'm not telling you to go buy the MacBook. I'm just saying before you even think about buying or purchasing one of these computers, ask them, is this an i5, an i7, an i9, or God forbid, if they say it's an i3, just say I don't even want to waste my time with that. Okay, so and that's just and that's just being straight up because, like Dave said, they're offering you these Black Friday deals, and when they offer you these Black Friday deals, they're just trying to get rid of the last bit of the inventory at the end of the year because CES is coming out in January, and then they're going to be talking about what this new computer can do and how fabulous it is, and then they're going to be trying to get people like me who are going to be into tech that's going to say I have to have this, and so the i7s that I have now, I'm going to be looking to offload that to go get to go get the i9. So just be mindful. I don't care what kind of computer you do choose to purchase. I just want you to be mindful of saying, if I'm going to be doing light work with my PC, go with i5. If I'm going to be doing heavy usage with my PC or my laptop, go with an i7. And if you just are all hell bent on Mac, by all means, all I can just tell you is go with the MacBook, and I'll just say that.
Yes.
So
I'll take that. I'll take that.
And that's just being fair. I mean, I'm not here
Yeah.
I'm not here to bash Apple or anything like that, but it's just we were here to talk about what type of processor, because they're not going to tell you, they're going to sell you on a price, and that's, I don't want them to just sell you on the price. Understand what that processor will do, because when you say I want to stream and you find out that your computer is not, or your laptop is not powerful enough, that's just $200 or $300 that just went out the door.
Yeah, and also look at the RAM as well, because not only do you want to look at the processing speed, but those computers that are $199, they probably come with 4 or 6 gigabytes of RAM, if that. And you need more RAM if you're going to be streaming and opening multiple programs. And so that, again, the trick is to get you in the door and to upsell you to a real computer. They might even be honest with you and say, listen, you don't really want this computer. Let me tell you why. Because we want you to get this computer. But if you want to get this computer, you're going to be bringing it back, because once you get it home, you find out it won't run some of the programs that you needed to run. It doesn't have enough RAM, and it doesn't have enough hard drive to put enough programs on there. So that's just the game.
So 2 things, and we're going to move forward. What Dave said, and you need to also see what, if even with the RAM, because we only talked about processors, we didn't talk about RAM. Will that computer that you purchase, is it even upgradable? Because you might purchase something and then you say, oh, I need to put more storage, because once you start putting video files onto your computer, that RAM starts to eat up, and it's going to be a hard time to process, and your computer is going to start acting slow again, and then you're going to be mad. So just be mindful of that.
And another key thing they could look at is, if there's a particular program, they might say, well, I need to get a new computer because I want to run, let's just say this was the program, and then look on the back of the program, because it's going to tell you what the minimum requirements are. And I'm 90% sure when you look at the minimum requirements, it's not going to be on that computer that's $199.
I don't think a lot of people are going to look at the back and read the fine print of the program that you're getting. So that's why, it's like, just be mindful, and we go from there. All right, real brief, because I know that we're at our hour, but check this out. Hey y'all, this show is going to be on Roku and Amazon Fire. Make sure you check it out. It's TBE Media. All right, I need you to check it out. All right, and
I like that.
I know that I know this show is supposed to end at 9, but I had one more article. You got time to stay for a few more minutes, or you want to
Sure.
cut out and get
Hey, bro,
keep.
I'm a guest on your show, and like I said, I'm following your lead.
Okay, all right. Well, let's just go through this real quick. Passwords. All right, y'all. We need to pay attention to this, because this is serious. I pray and I hope that you are not using common passwords that are out there, that everybody uses, because it's so easy to get hacked, and it's so easy to get your get your data compromised. And what I don't want to see happen to you is you say, my credit card information has now been taken because you had a simple password. So real briefly, this article basically just says most people use common passwords, and we think it's a joke, but basically, when your information starts to get your stolen credentials start to get published online, it's no longer a joke. And now a lot of these online services such as YouTube, Facebook, and some other companies, they're making you do multi-factor authentication, to where you have to use lowercase, capital letters, special characters. Then they send the text to your phone to make sure that it's you. But some programs that you may have on your computer, you might use the same password. Now, if it's just you in the house and just you and your family, then I think that might be okay. But if you're out in public, the last thing you want to do is have that lock code to your computer be the same password to your Facebook or to your credit card banking institution. So just keep this in mind. And NordPass published its annual study of passwords across 50 countries, the most common passwords that have been used. And you will be amazed that these are the top 10. Let me see if I can get that off the screen. The most common passwords that have been used is 12345 123456789, 12345, QWERTY. And if you look at your computer, if you're watching this on your computer, that's where the QWERTY. Come on, y'all. Password 11111, 123123. And then they even said that these are the most common passwords and that are in the U.S., Canada, Russia, Australia, and in Europe. And this is in 2021. And if you're in the UK, they said Charlie is the most common, and it said it appeared to be as the 9th most popular password in the UK. And Liverpool, if you're in Canada, or if you what One Direction was a popular music related password, and Liverpool appears to the popular soccer team tends to be also another popular password. So real brief, just kind of keep in mind, don't use something that's common. They even said curse words were popular. So I'm not telling you to not I'm not telling you not to use your kid's name or anything like that, but just mix it up a little bit. And whatever you do, write it down on a piece of paper, right? And or put it to where somebody has access to it. So if something happens to you, then they know how to get a hold of it. But you're not using QWERTY or 11111, because if the wrong person gets a hold of that, they now have access to your sensitive data that's online. And the last thing you want is for your credit card to be charged in the UK, like somebody attempted to do to me this past weekend. And I immediately was able to shut some things down real quick, but it was not a common password. The crazy thing about it was the card they used the wrong expiration month. So I mean, I just got lucky. So, but I made sure passwords were changed, and we probably and new cards were sent out. So just keep that in mind.
Yeah, yeah. I'm a huge believer of the authentication process. I used to use Google Authenticator for I use stocks and cryptocurrencies, but to have it call your phone is the best thing in the world, because the dark web there's all kind of breaches out there. The other thing I would recommend as we talk about security is to get some sort of a program, and I'm not an endorser of LifeLock, but I will tell you I have had LifeLock for many years, probably about 20 years, and it has saved me more than I can think of. And you should also freeze your credit. I would freeze credit. You can just call the credit bureau companies and they will tell you what steps you need to do to freeze your credit. Because my name is Dave Smith. I have a very popular basic plain name, and people are trying to hack my stuff. I get emails all the time from Instagram where people have tried to hack my Instagram account saying, sorry that you're having a problem logging into your Instagram. And I'm like, I'm not having a problem logging into my Instagram, because when I log out and log in, y'all call my phone and be like, ping, are you trying to log in right now? So, we live in a world where people are definitely getting people's IDs and doing things with it. So yeah, that's a great call that you put up.
Yeah. So, like I said, as we go into this holiday season, you'll have some time, and just be mindful. Tell yourself that this is something that you want to do, and just say, all right, I'm gonna call it, Mama's dressing or something like that, and do a capital M, and you make the S's the dollar signs or something like that. But I mean, it's just something different to where your personal information is not compromised, and just write it down somewhere that is safe, to where if something was to ever happen to you, a loved one or a significant other can have access to it, and in that way you'll be okay. So I didn't want to preach and harp too long on this article, but I did want to touch bases because I know we're getting ready to go into the holiday season. And any Thanksgiving plans that you have, Dave?
Yeah, I'm actually going to go home to my home state for the first time in just over 4 years, with the exception of a funeral service. I did pop in for a few hours
40?
for that. Got right back on a plane. No, 4 years.
Oh, 4 years. Okay.
Yeah, 4 years. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No, 40 years. Wow, that would be terrible. But 4 years is long enough, because my 7-year-old is like, I don't know anybody on your side of the family. And that kind of hit home this year. And I was like, you know what? If I were to pass away, that would be a terrible thing for me not to have done, to make sure that she's connected. She knows everybody on the other side of the family, on my wife's side of the family. Very few people, and when they see her on social media. So I'm definitely going home. What about you?
I plan to be here. I would like to find some type of New Orleans style Thanksgiving dinner, but we're here in hot Atlanta, so it might be only the traditional turkey, or it might be some JR crickets or something like that. I don't know. Lemon pepper hot.
Well, I hope it's great for you, brother. We got a lot to be thankful for. That's for sure.
Yeah. So real brief, where can people find you? Is there anything that you want people to know about you that you're promoting, or anything that's out there that anybody that's watching or watching the replay, they can come back and check you out?
Yeah, you can find me at hurricanedave.com on pretty much all social media channels. I am in the process of moving my website again. So hurricanedave.com is not functioning right now. If you go there, it says, hey, I'm moving to a server that I own. But I am excited about it. In January of 2022, I am going to officially launch a social media harvesting, which is going to be targeted toward entertainment industry, the actors, directors, anybody who has a large social following. As we know, the social media platforms will not allow you to reach 100% of your audience. Something they may expose it to 16, 17, 18%. If they don't like posting, they will just ban your posts, or they'll shadow your posts, and what they call shadow banning, and only show it to 4 or 5%. And it's not right. And I do believe that if an artist and you've got millions of followers that are following you on these platforms, you should be able to have direct contact with those guys and find out, or two. That's going to be my big push for 22, is to really jumpstart the socialmediaharvesting.com. So I'm excited about that. And I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to talk about it.
No, man, we family, man. And like I said, if there's any way I can support you, by all means, you have a platform. I see what you're doing, and when you're ready to launch, we'll get you back on, and you can go do a deeper dive, because it does focus on tech. Maybe there's somebody that's watching that may be interested, and that's the beauty of all of this, is to give the platform to and educate people of what these products are. So this is a tech show. I want people to be informed, educated, and entertained. And I don't have my sound effect up to where I could just go ahead and just say, ow. But at the end of the day, we want you to be educated. And like I said, these were just 4 stories that happened this week. So this isn't something that was 2 weeks ago. This wasn't something that was last month. You can always go into the description of the YouTube video, and you can click on the article, so it's right there, and you can see it with your own eyes. You can read and follow along, and like I said, the goal is just to educate you. And next week, we're going to talk a little bit about Black Friday, because I will do a show the day before Thanksgiving. I was kind of hesitant on whether or not I should do it, but I will do a show for Wednesday. So as family members are coming in, tell people, hey, let's get in front of this TV, let's get in front of this phone, let's get in front of this tablet, and let's learn something, and let's just see what's out there. But I do know that Black Friday and Cyber Monday and Small Business Saturday is coming up, and if there's some great deals that are out there, this could be something that you might be interested in, and or there could be some things that you're interested in, shall I say, and maybe instead of you just saying, I'm just going to just go to Walmart and Best Buy to buy certain things, there might be something online that you may find that may be more attractive to that respective family member or friend. So I'll do a show next week, and then we'll discuss what we're going to do moving forward for the end of the year. But I do know that I plan on gearing up for CES, and so that way we can start talking about some of those other cool products that we'll be releasing at the top of the year. So with that being said, Dave, any final words?
I hope that everybody who's been watching, I hope that you guys have a blessed and safe Thanksgiving. Thank you to the folks saying kind things. Thank you, Bree and Miss Williams, Miss Dorothy, and everybody. This has been great. I appreciate you inviting me again, and hopefully I'll have an opportunity to come back sometime in 2022. That'd be great.
Man, let's do it. All right, y'all. Y'all know the routine. It's the lab. I thank y'all once again, and we're out. Give me 1 second, Dave. It's stopping the stream.
Okay.
Stop recording.